We're live. What's good, everybody? It's Game Talk. I'm Gangster. I'm here with Brimstone
How's it going, guys?
and my boy Blue.
You know who I am already.
This ain't nobody know who you are.
I know, right? I'm just pretend myself. Leave me alone. Let me pretend at least.
So it's a lazy Sunday. I'm still feeling like shit. So
He has the
I'm
beer flu.
still, I'm still
Brim's
half
still
asleep.
waking up.
So,
Yep.
yeah,
But
but
You guys had terrible
we're
days.
still
I had a
here
great
for
day so
you.
far.
What?
I had a great day today, dude. Not gonna
Well,
lie,
you
my day
did.
was great so far. I woke up at 9 a.m., went out for a little bit of a run. Can't do much because lockdown. Went out for a little bit of a run. Got home, made some eggs, then watched the latest episode. Yeah, dude, I had a great day actually. Tremendous day.
Good for you.
that's good, dude. That's
Yeah.
good. Meanwhile,
then-
I was at like 3 in the morning reforming my fucking PC just because it kept fucking crashing on me no matter what I did. Like, no matter what I did, what I clicked on, I mean, it would just all of a sudden my shit would freeze. It go, boo.
Yikes,
Checked all
dude.
the threats, checked all threat levels of software, checked everything, and it didn't detect anything. So I don't know what the fuck it was about. I think there was maybe a driver situation where you have too much software on your computer where it shares the same driver. So I think I could think of. But it was fucking annoying. Not gonna lie. So what do you want to cover first, Pete?
Oh, I don't care, man. I guess we could talk about Bethesda dropping their support of Skyrim and Fallout VR.
That's
Yeah, dude.
interesting. That's an interesting thing, right? Like I wasn't expecting Bethesda to ever drop support on any of their games.
Oh, I
Doesn't make
knew it was
sense.
gonna happen. I knew it.
Probably didn't do that well. I mean, I got mine for free.
Oh, even
So,
Yeah,
without
but
I got mine
like,
personally.
but Skyrim still makes money though. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like
Because
it's a dead game. There's a lot of people who keep buying it every year. So
It's
I mean,
because Skyrim VR is now what people expected it to be.
No, yeah, it never will be. Like until there's full dive. Like people want a first-person shooter, but in VR. But that's not going to happen because you can't work out the controls.
Oh, and also using a bow in Skyrim VR is optimal. I hate it. That's one of the reasons why I dropped it. It's like, man, this is so frustrating. It's not like you can use like a real life bow. It straight up just doesn't make sense, the mechanics of it in VR with the controllers.
Oh, but yeah, I mean, I called this a while ago that these games weren't going to do that well. It's because everybody's you listen to people talk about what they would love in a VR shooter and shit, and you get stuff like I think one time Mahler and Rags were talking about it, and they said like, oh, there was some game that you could do this, where you could like grab a mag off your buddy and reload with it, or something like that, and everybody's expecting like Counter-Strike or Doom or whatever, their insert your favorite shooter game here with shit like that, like you could do with a VR system. But it's just never going to happen that way because the control, like, it's an intractable problem with the controls. Where if you have controller controls, well, for one thing, you can't do the whole hands type thing, so that eliminates all the cool, VR only,
right.
Motions.
whatever, right? The I can't think of the word right now, but
And also-
the systems. That's it, or that's a word
And
for
also,
it.
another thing about
Plus, it's got
Skyrim-
the problem with motion sickness, right? Because a lot of people can't handle doing a VR game with a controller because they're not moving. But you can't have people moving because most people have what 10, 20 feet maybe square of space where they could do like a VR setup with, and it's just it doesn't work.
and you use the
So-
teleporting controls, which
Well, that's
are
So then the
not
only other
fun.
option is the teleporting controls, which nobody's gonna like, especially a multiplayer. Everybody wants a multiplayer VR shooter, and it's like you're either gonna have teleporting controls or it's gonna be with a controller, which has all these problems. So like it's not gonna be what everybody wants it to be, and yeah. So I mean,
the one thing
people
about-
want Fallout where they could actually walk around and pick up all the shit that you get in game and do all that shit, and it's like that can't happen.
Also, playing Fallout VR, trying to use the dialogue wheel is almost frustrating in
Well,
VR.
that all could be solved. I mean, there's fixes for things like that, but for my thing is the intractable problems, and I don't see a solution. Like even because I was thinking about this the other day, even with, like, have you guys seen those VR systems where it's like you can hang and you've got like special boots on and it slides on like a treadmill type
Right.
thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Even with one
It's
of those, the problem is that your character is still moving and you're not, which means the people who get motion sickness are still going to get motion sickness even if they have some crazy contraption like that.
Yeah, there's they call it an Endless 4. And the Endless 4 builds are pretty cool, but
Yeah, but who has the money for that? So.
And like I said, it still has the problem with motion sickness though. Because your character is still moving forward, but you are physically standing still. Like, not standing still, but, you know, you're not actually which that fucks with your inner ear, because your inner ear senses when you're moving forward by the fluid in it being sloshed backwards, and that doesn't happen in one of those contraptions.
And see, I guess this is where I'm different, right? Like, I don't get motion sickness in VR per se. Like, I don't get sick to my stomach, like I'm gonna throw up, but I do feel a little weird, if that makes any sense. Like, I don't feel like I'm gonna throw up and you lose whatever I'm eating that day just because I'm in a game like that.
It depends on the game for me.
For me, it's really strange, dude. Like, I want to say, like, I almost feel as though, like, I don't know if it's my body, I don't know if it's my mind that does it, but like, it makes me feel like I'm in two different places, even though I'm not moving in one of them.
Well, that's
you know what I mean? Like, it's really fucking weird. It's really like a strange feeling. And after a while, like, I'll actually start getting like a minor headache.
Wow.
Like, I actually have to turn it. I actually have to get off the Oculus or the PlayStation one, because my buddy brought down both and we tried both, and it was fun. Like, I had a lot of fun with it, but like, I don't know, man. Like, it was just a strange feeling, dude. I've never experienced that before.
Well, yeah. Your brain thinks you're moving, but your body doesn't. And like, some people get motion sickness from it. Some people just have weird feelings like you. Some people can actually handle it. But it is what it is. Like I said, it's an intractable problem with any sort of movement-based game that's not teleporting or, you know.
Oh shit!
I mean, I mean, I wanted to add more to the Skyrim VR situation, because you're just talking about VR. What happened there?
What, Blue?
To add more to the Skyrim situation was, like, just melee combat felt really weird. Because that's also because this is a criticism of Skyrim's combat in general, where it's not actual sword play, you're kind of just smacking something a lot of times. And that doesn't work well with VR, like, because when I was playing Skyrim and I was using the melee system with the VR set, it just felt like I was just smacking something, like doing a light smack instead of actually doing sword play. And you couldn't do actual, like, sword play because you literally, the game doesn't allow you. You can't exactly cross, like, counter block with your sword. Because sometimes the game's like, oh, you didn't block technically. And it's just, all this shit goes together and it doesn't work out well.
Jack, the difference between playing it without VR is that your body still knows you're not moving because only the screen is moving, you know?
Right.
Your brain is able to pick up, like, because the problem is that it's a mismatch.
Yeah.
In VR, your entire field of vision is moving, but you physically are not. So your brain doesn't know what to do because it senses that mismatch. But when you're looking at a screen, the rest of your peripheral vision isn't moving. It's only the screen that's moving, and so your brain can say, "Oh,
what's up, fellas?
What up, Rev?
What's up?"
Well, obviously you're not really moving because my periphery is standing still. It's only the small portion of my vision that's moving, and that's why most people don't get any motion sickness or anything like that on just playing it regular. So
I know people kind of get motion sick, but off FOV being too short.
Sure, yeah, there's some weird things that can happen, but for 99% of people, you know, it's just like seizures. Only a tiny percentage of people get seizures from flashing lights and
Brimstone's the
shit.
Marshmallow Man? I take it? I'm just kidding.
New ear pads.
You're the Marshmallow Man. It's okay.
This dude kind of looked like...
I mean,
Those do kinda
overall,
look
just
like marshmallows. It's flat ones.
I mean, he's the giant marshmallow man from Ghostbusters. I say Ghostbusters, Ghostbuster, but no, but Skyrim and Fallout as VR games are disappointing. So, like, I'm not gonna say they're good VR games because
This-
they really
and
aren't.
This is why I was saying a long time ago that the only VR stuff that's going to get, I mean, I don't even want to say popular because that's the whole thing. It's like you don't usually.
Well, I don't know. A lot of
new
people are
piece
playing
of,
VR right now. So.
Well, it's but
I mean, 'cause
all the first off, VR is still nowhere near as popular as everybody was thinking it was going to be. Second off, the only things that have gotten really popular are the things like Beat Saber.
And also, Half-Life Alyx is huge right now.
Sure,
Everyone's
yeah,
on that shit,
Half-Life
though.
Alyx.
There's a lot of good games. Like Arizona Sunshine's not bad. I played that for a while.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, but that's not the. Those aren't the traditional games that most people want to play though. Like every time I hear people going like, "Oh, I can't wait for VR," what they're talking about is something like a VR version of like Counter-Strike or whatever their favorite
Or when
shooter
they think
is.
of like
or,
Sword Art Online. That's
sure,
what I think a lot of times.
or yeah, some RPG or something like that. And it's like I've been
There's
saying.
camera just crashed.
Yeah, it did.
I mean, I played on all the headsets. I mean, I really enjoyed. Out of all of them, I really enjoyed the PSVR the most.
Yeah, you dude.
I like
Jack,
Farpoint.
I don't know how small that percentage is, and I think it has something to do with like kids. Kids are a lot easier to handle it than adults are, and I think one of the reasons is because it's kind of the reason like nobody our age gets motion sick from just there is a small percentage of people that get either motion sick or something like that from regular video games. But
Well, I can't really enjoy VR to begin with because I'm partially blind, so I can't get the full experience.
But that percentage has shrank a ton once screens were popular with children. Like they were popular enough that most kids had access to them as kids, and so I think part of that is a.
Yeah, but that's kind of like the equivalent of giving like your grandma let's say if I gave my grandma.
Well,
my
that's the thing.
iPhone 9
If
or
you
whatever,
grew up
she'd
with
be like,
it, you're a
what's
lot
that?
more. Yeah, you're a lot easier to.
What's
it's
up,
a lot
Jack,
easier
though?
to
What's up, big
acclimate
homie?
to it if you're raised with it. And there is a thing about VR where they say you shouldn't let small children play too long with VR because it can mess up their, I don't know, balance, equilibrium, something like that. And that could be true. Like it could be that doing a VR game that would normally induce motion sickness a lot when they're really young might acclimate them to something that's not realistic. But there hasn't been a lot of studies on that or anything though. So.
And we don't. And that's the thing about VR. It's gonna be a small market, and
Yeah.
there's no mainstream market for it.
It'll be niche for a long time.
Even with the PlayStation VR, it's still a niche market.
Yeah, I just want to say 7 viewers. And plus a returning old guest. Thank you guys for coming by. Really appreciate it.
How you doing, Jack, today though?
I mean, that's it really.
Man lives Aussie.
So now that everyone's here, how's everyone's week going? Since we all went off Skyrim there.
I can't say anything about that, Jack.
Just been busy organizing, cleaning up house, man.
Ooh.
Yeah,
How is
that.
your week, Brem?
My weekend was alright. So, dude, last time, like I said, was when I experienced all my PC issues.
Just go to Walmart. We don't need it right this second. Like, it's not like that. I know it.
I mean,
you I get it. I'm saying it's not.
I think Ram
You're
was
welcome.
having some issues.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know I was unmuted.
Against-
Sorry, guys.
No.
Like, I was gonna mute you so that way your personal info wasn't out
Right? But keep
I
it out.
there.
And now,
Quality
great one, by the way.
quality content here on the Game Talk.
yeah, but my week was great though. Like I actually had my life has been bliss ever since the quarantine. But like I've been caught up.
Good here.
Like I've been watching. I actually didn't watch that much anime this week because I was playing a shit ton of Borderlands. Because that game is really addicting at the moment. Because Destiny sucks. But that's another matter entirely.
Oh,
yeah,
in terms
Jack,
of-
we don't keep up. Sorry, but I didn't mean to cut you off, Jack. We don't really keep up with a lot of people, man. Like we don't.
Yeah, I don't watch a whole lot of streamers or
YouTubers.
yeah.
I
mean,
don't
really, outside of the tech tubers and the wrestling tubers, I don't really
Even
know.
then, man, I haven't watched Gamers Nexus in forever. You know,
Yeah,
it's
he's
just kind of
gotten
been.
drawn out, dude. He's been drawn out lately. I
Okay,
stopped watching
Gamers
it.
Nexus is eat, sleep, repeat benchmarks.
True. Well, but I mean,
Yeah,
that's the thing, and there hasn't been anything coming out that I'm interested in. So, you know,
mean,
like
really,
Big
the only
Navi
thing
hasn't
that
dropped.
The only thing I'm excited for was the news about Navi, but that was about it.
Oh. And even
Well,
that,
and
like,
it-
we don't have anything definitive on that yet. We just have what Lisa Sue and a couple others have said. You know,
Yeah, which is what I was just gonna say. Like, what did I say earlier, Pete? It was like
26 teraflops. Yeah, I can't remember how many
16 to
CUs.
17.
I think it was like
6
80 CUs or
16 to 17% faster than a 20 ATI. I mean, it's a lot, but like, how many teraflops did the
It's gonna
TI
be a
have?
Titan XP.
The
Well,
TI, I think, is at, like,
supposedly they have one that's going to be dual GPUs, supposedly.
that would be cool. But it's not gonna be
They-
the dual top end, is it?
That's what they're saying, and it's going to
Wow.
be using ASIC computing. But then that got debunked, and this whole Navi thing has been like jokes, and what is good information, what is bad information? Because on April Fool's Day, they announced something, and then that was debunked immediately by AMD themselves, and then you had other news saying that's right, there's dual GPUs coming. And
Well, I
I'm
thought
like,
they did
okay.
say a while ago that they wanted to get back into dual GPUs because one of the reasons is because they could, because their stuff works really good with async computing. And that's actually perfect because that works well enough with dual actual GPUs, but it's way easier when it's dual on the same board GPUs because then you can handle all the cross traffic yourself internally and you don't have to rely on the PCI Express bus or anything like that. So it made sense
Whoa.
that they might have wanted to go dual GPU, but man, on this gen, like, it's a lot of power.
Speaking of things that were delayed, Last of Us was delayed this week.
Yeah,
so
indefinitely.
Indefinitely, and the PS5 may be delayed indefinitely because of overheating and melting problems.
Jesus.
Yikes, dude.
Wow, it's
Yeah.
almost like we called it 2 weeks ago, right? And then
Yeah,
last
I
week-
said they were going for the traditional console look, and guess what? Devs
wasn't.
are turning. Devs are saying the fan is shitting itself. They're
Yep.
also saying that it's hard to because of the controller that they're using for their NVMe drive is too complicated and too complex. And
Man,
then
almost
also-
like
I mean,
we were
they'll work
right.
it out. You know, it's. Yeah, it's
Then
tough.
they're
Well,
also-
of course they will. I mean,
Now they're also saying that they're going to Sony's now talking about going back to the engineer board and come up with something that's like the Series X in design. And
Probably. Well, yeah, they're
I can't
building a computer. They've got mid-range computer parts in there
I can't
now.
believe I called everything.
And that
So
shit's
they're
gonna
going
be a
for the
whole-
traditional console.
Well, that's they.
I-
Yeah,
You can't have all that power in a small box. I mean, that's just
exactly.
not how it
That's the.
works.
Well, I mean, it can be small, but it's got to be well designed. Like that's the whole thing. The Series X, as weird as it looks, that's actually pretty good design because you can put some
So-
big ass fans top and bottom or whatever, and
Yeah,
they've
but
got
that's
a
the
nice.
Series X.
Well,
it
but-
makes sense.
It looks like a vacuum cleaner, dude.
But it
that's-
works.
But what was I gonna say? I've been on the money, man. I said when they said they were gonna downcore it and downclock it, and you're not gonna get full performance. They're having problems optimizing games because of it. So
You know what? I'm all right with that.
They're going for the traditional console look. That just screams to me that their
Well-
design was original console look.
that would be like, and see, and this is the thing. This is why I said, give me the fucking black box tower, because we talked about this last week in the Night Owl. I stated that they have yet to have a working cooling solution on a console since PlayStation 1 and 2. Like 3.
No, 3 worked all right.
When you
Yes.
had the bubble, the OG
Yeah, but it's
PS2
still-
cooling was way better than any other model that they came out with after that.
But it still
Yeah, but
looked
you
like a
gotta-
regular console.
The PS3 though, even with that big bubble, had more overheating problems than the actual Slim did. So, I mean, because the PS3, the original, was known for the what's it called? Known for the yellow light of death because it overheated.
I mean, so like the delay is pretty much what happened with the PS3 and 360. 360 came out a year early, had a year advantage. In
Well, do y'all
comparison.
But they
honestly think that? I mean, do you honestly think the Xbox Series X isn't going to be delayed with this going on?
Oh,
I
it
don't know.
probably
It
will.
depends on if they're having the same
It
problems.
depends.
Because they don't have.
I still think they're gonna. I mean, they're even if they don't have problems with the console, they're still gonna have problems with shipment because of
Well, I mean,
what's
maybe,
going
yeah.
on.
Well, Foxconn's already in production of the next iPhone already, and they're in productions of a lot of things, and they said it will be delivered time date.
Oh, they said
Microsoft-
that. Yeah, they said that, but I can guarantee you, with everything going on, because they're already talking about like not even starting school back whenever it starts again, because of this. So I mean, if they're doing that, I can almost guarantee the shipments coming from China aren't going to be just like welcomed in like with open arms. on
Well, I
time.
thought GameStop was going to be closed indefinitely, but they're still open.
They are. Whoa.
No, they're not open here.
Essential guy.
Yeah, they're not
They're
open
not
here.
open here. They closed their stores nationwide.
It's curbside.
Mine's still open, dude.
Mine's still open. Curbside service. You can actually go to the door and get stuff.
Well, yeah,
actually.
Oh,
you
that
can do curbside. You can do
service, yeah.
curbside service, but that's all you can do. They're not open. They're not
Yeah,
like
that's
where
what
you can walk in.
no, that's what he's saying is you can still do curbside.
Well, yeah, but curbside, the governments are actually recommending you do curbside if you can.
Yep.
So that way you can actually still make money.
Yeah, but I mean, they could find shipping methods and shit like that. It wouldn't be the most difficult thing to do.
I don't know. I just think that we'll probably see both of them being pushed back until like maybe the spring of next year.
Maybe.
And plus,
Or-
I mean, especially with the economy tanking. Remember, that's the reason why the PS3 and the 360 waited so long is because of the economy. And with the economy tanking right now, I don't think they're going to be in a rush to get it out because nobody's going to be able to buy it.
No,
People are just going to
because-
be getting.
Well, here's the thing though, because the one thing, or one of the few things that are really taking off during this whole thing is video games, streaming, entertainment products. So, of all the things that could still be launched reasonably soon would be a video game console. Although, even if they did, it might have severe, inventory shortages and shit like that. So I could see it where they still come out relatively the same time, but it's fairly limited until shipping gets back to where it was.
Yeah. It's all very interesting stuff. I mean, the video game industry is probably the best it's been in like forever.
Oh, yeah, it's
in terms
booming,
of, like,
man.
profit. Yeah. You got server loads being reported by Microsoft as high as 110%. Like, that's pretty insane, dude.
Yep.
Like, that's crazy.
And also, VR headsets are at the highest peak that they've ever been. People are
Yeah,
buying
dude.
them out
People
left
are just
and right.
buying. It's like I'm gonna go outside in VR. That's me, my VR game.
Dude, I think this quarantine has like exposed a lot of people, dude. Like, it's like, yo, all you guys that hated gaming before, welcome to our world.
You know what also is funny is
Well,
people are
it's
buying
just-
out phones left and right too.
It's
Yep.
That's crazy.
Jesus.
This quarantine has exposed a lot of needless industries too, because
Sure.
there's no. If you can do all this work at home, all these people, then you can also do all the schooling at home, like
Yep.
college. Why are we paying these institutions millions and billions, well, actually billions of dollars to have all these big ass buildings if we can do most of the shit at home?
Yep. Oh, and work from
I think
home
mo-
thing,
I
like
think-
that shit should have happened a decade ago, man. Everybody who
Well,
could
yeah,
have
but
worked for
I'm
home should
hoping
have
that I'm hoping that stays whenever we
Oh, yeah.
get done with this.
definitely.
A
It would
buddy of
fix
mine
so
was,
many
has
problems.
always been doing. But you always had the option to do college at home because a buddy of mine has been doing
Well,
college
yeah,
at home
but
for a while
no,
now.
no, it's not about the option. I'm saying that like it should be
Standardized.
made.
Yeah,
It
that
should be
it
standardized,
should be
like
the
that.
default.
Every degree that doesn't require like hands-on, like nursing or lawyers or whatever like that.
Chemistry or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, chemistry, anything like that should be done at home, and then everything else, like you would be able to knock a college down to maybe 1 or 2 buildings, rather than, for
Yeah, a couple labs,
like a whole
chem
damn
lab,
city.
a biology lab, and you don't even need to
And a
be
law
at those every day. Yeah,
No, And then
You-
like
you
a law library center.
Yeah,
for
you
people
do
to
like
go check
4
it
out of
out.
5 of your classes at home, and then you just come in 1 or 2 days a week for that one class you need to go to actually physical for. And
You know
yeah,
how much cheaper college would be?
right,
Yeah, it would be hella cheaper.
hella cheaper.
There's
Just start firing people. Yo, hire me. I'll fire everyone.
well, all these colleges overhired, and they just keep. I mean, they're almost like a big government, to where they just keep inflating their overhead, and you're paying for these like $1 million salaries every year.
Yeah, tons of
Jack has a question for
administrators.
you.
Salaries.
I saw. I was gonna
Thanks, sir,
wait.
in the chat. Okay.
Jack, all I
Also,
meant
you
was
make-
limited supply, right? They won't have enough to fill the demand for so many months or maybe a year before their
Of what?
inventory of like the new consoles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you can see the new consoles being like, remember when mining was huge and graphics cards, you couldn't like buy one to save your life
Yeah.
half the time?
exactly.
You could see that happening with consoles.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I
But yeah,
think that what
and
you'll see. Well, I mean, even look at Last of Us 2. They have actually postponed the actual shipment of it, but they're not even talking about doing a digital release, for the digital people, either. So I mean, what's going on there?
yeah,
I
that
don't
was a
understand
dick
that.
punch. I don't understand that because people already have the
They
game.
say the game. Well, they say the game's not ready, but I
Last
don't
of Us
buy
2?
that.
Wait, Last of Us 2?
No,
You watch.
Final
They'll release
Fantasy
it when
VIII.
the They'll release it when the console gets released.
Yeah, the Last of Us 2 is actually postponed indefinitely. Like, there's not even a tentative date. It's postponed indefinitely.
I think it's a play on the new console. When you hear an announcement of the new console, they'll take it out of indefinite release and say, "Oh
Well,
yeah, it's
okay,
coming for
but-
the new console's launch time."
But think about this. So I mean, I don't think the new console. I still don't think the new consoles are going to come out like when they're supposed to, because the economy was like over 10 million people out of work. The economy is tanking so hard, and nobody's going to be able to buy it. Like, want to be able to spend another $400 or $500 on a luxury item, whenever that $400 or $500 could be, for food, whenever you're down to your last bit of money.
Well, like I said, it could go the other way though, because they could
It could
say
bounce back.
Well,
If
not
we bounce
no,
back, I
even
think.
not that. Like they could say, well, if people do have $400 or $500, then the one thing they're gonna want to spend it on is something like a console where they can get a whole lot of enjoyment out of it.
Maybe.
You know, like
And let's be honest here. It's not like these people are going to use their stimulus. Not everybody's going to be using their stimulus package wisely.
no.
Well, I mean, to me, we're getting a stimulus thing, and my wife hasn't been unemployed yet. So I mean, I'm using it to fix my car, buy more guns, and
Yeah, right.
He's getting ready for war, guys. Listen,
Smart
I'm ready
move,
for the
man.
anarchy.
Well, I just got out of. I mean, it's getting crazy up here because I just got out of my car and was about to walk into the Family Dollar, and there's a big ass fight going on with some dude with a hatchet.
Yikes,
Jesus.
dude. That's
So
where you ammo to fuck up. That's what I would do.
I didn't have my gun on me, so I hopped back in the car, called the police, and was like, "We're out." I described the person as like, "We're out," because I'm not. If I had my gun on me, I would have just shot the motherfucker.
Can I conceal carry a shotgun? Is that possible? By law.
Well,
It's possible. It's unlikely. I mean,
it's
you gotta
not,
be
but I'm
able to
not sure how comfortable you're gonna be.
right?
It's concealed, guys. Trust me.
Like, of all the guns
By
you
the
can
time you pull
conceal, a shotgun's pretty low on the list.
Yeah, I mean, when you pull that thing out, I mean, good luck with your leg.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Especially if you have like a fucking trigger that's extra sensitive, dude. Oh
Yep.
man.
I would hate that.
Jesus. Speaking of that, though, like Mixer's just handing out money. They're giving people hundreds of dollars, apparently.
They're only
Oh,
for
yeah.
partners. Only
So,
for
hey,
Yeah,
partners.
active partners.
How is it going in y'all's area? I wanted to get on here to ask y'all that because I know y'all are from like California and from Arizona. How is it?
Actually, it's pretty normal where I am.
in
like, there's a lot less
California,
traffic.
In California, they're I'm okay with the rules with it. I mean, they're now forcing
Well,
people to wear masks and gloves now at this point.
I still say that California, the Democratic governors are like overstepping their authority. They're arresting people. There was one in Pennsylvania that arrested somebody or cited somebody, gave him a ticket for going on a drive.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're doing
Yeah, I
they're
saw
doing that
that.
here.
Which
They're doing it here, too.
that's stupid as fuck, because if there's one thing you want people to do, it's do something like driving where you
Yeah,
can't
instead of
affect
being
anybody else. Yeah.
Right.
Bro, you know what's crazy is out here where I live, they're telling people to go out for drives to like break,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know. to keep people from going insane at their house and shit.
Do you have a Republican governor?
My house.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Well, see, we do here, and our governor is like going, "Hey guys, go out and do whatever you got to do. Just stay 6 feet apart and whatever." Like you would almost believe that the only thing different in Oklahoma is that a lot of the strip malls are empty, but everything else like that, we still have rush hour.
Yeah, we still got a little rush hour over here.
I mean, nobody's staying inside. Like we go to Walmart and it's just packed. You go over. I mean, it's insane. Like it's really not that bad here. Thank God. I would hate to live in one of these states.
I mean, like all our restaurants are either closed or doing takeout only. You know, and movie theaters are closed.
That's a big difference. That's a big difference for us.
But other than that, though, it's pretty normal.
Sad about it.
Have y'all seen those videos? Have y'all seen those videos though, like of New York's hospitals and Los Angeles hospitals, where they're talking about all these long lines and stuff like that, and they're videoing it, and there's like nothing there, nobody there. I'm just wondering what really is going on with this. I don't believe in because we didn't freak out with H1N1, and it
but H1N1 did not spread as fast as this though. This is what
still infected. It infected 22 million Americans.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, we didn't do anything, like at all. Like we didn't even like social distance, nothing. There was nothing really freaking. The media didn't do anything, and now all of a sudden with this, like we're somehow like scared. I think I think the government's not
because they don't have a cure for it, and a lot of people are really getting sick.
We didn't have a cure for H1N1 though. Whenever it happened.
we didn't.
But it wasn't as deadly though, and it didn't spread as quick.
But is this actually deadly? What happens if you actually tested every American? I guarantee you the mortality rate would drop to almost like the regular cold or the flu.
Yeah, I was thinking that same thing.
I don't know about that. Yeah.
You don't think so?
No. It only took.
Wait, because all these new confirmed cases are people that took the test like 3 weeks ago, and there was a 3-week delay.
Sure,
so
but here's the thing, right?
Yo, wait, quick before you guys finish. Quick disclaimer. I gotta go for like 15 or 20 minutes. I'll be back in a little, okay?
All right.
Yeah.
Like it only took a month for COVID to kill as many people as the flu normally kills in a year. That's
okay. Wait, no. Because there's only been 8,000 people die here in America.
And that's how many normally die from the flu.
No. Last year, the 2018-2019, 20 million Americans died from the flu. 20 million.
No, 20,000.
No, 20 million.
Show me the article with that number because
I will say this by the time this is all said and done, those numbers are going to be high.
2017, 2018. It says CDC estimates the burden of illness during the 2017-2018 was high, with an estimated 45 million people getting sick with influenza, 21 million people going to the healthcare provider, 810,000 hospitalizations, and 61,000 deaths.
Okay, so 60,000
2017-2019. Yeah, but we're at 8,000.
Okay, but that's normally it is. Normally it's 10 to 20,000. That's a normal flu year.
But I still say that if you there's a ton of asymptomatic carriers out here that if we tested, the numbers we would have a high infection rate but a low death rate at that point.
Well, but depends on what you mean by low. Yes, it's not Ebola. It's nowhere near Ebola, but it is far deadlier than the normal flu. Like an average flu year is, like I said, 10 to 15,000. And the other thing is it spreads stupid quick. I mean, way faster than the flu.
And once we get done with the first round of this, the second round is going to even be harder.
Maybe.
The thing is, though, is that the lockdown thing does not work. You're going to have much more deaths related from the depression and from everything else, like suicides. Domestic violence is going to go up. Wait.
So I agree with PSN guides in a way.
Wait, because during the Great Depression, we actually had fewer unemployed people than what we have right now. Now, during the Great Depression, we had 2% of the United States population commit suicide. 2%. That's a lot of freaking people.
Yeah, it is. That
Now,
is-
if you now you're talking about this is that we have never in our history reached above like 1.5, 2 million unemployed people. We had 10 million people in 1 week.
Oh, Jesus, dropping like
This is
flies.
this is going to have like a long lasting effect, and there's going to be a whole lot more things. I don't understand why every business can't be open as long as they limit the amount of people in their stores and they practice social distancing. Because in Walmart, nobody's practicing social distancing. I'm in here right now. Everybody's rubbing shoulder to shoulder and everything else. The
Well,
only thing they do is make you
It's
practice it when you
different
walk
between
in.
state to state. In my
Fuck,
state,
my internet's
literally,
going
like
screwy.
I walked into Walmart, everybody's afraid to be around each other.
Well, what state are you in?
Orange County, everybody's afraid
Okay,
to
well,
be
that- I
around
can-
each
yeah.
other.
Well, the thing is though, is that I'm just wondering though why, like if to me like if you can walk into Walmart because their grocery part is essential, you should not be if it's only essential, you should not be allowed to be. They should have to rope off their non-essential items.
Well, what's
Well,
going
I-
on too is now they got a letter going on from what I've read, and if they redeem the store having too many people, they'll just force you to leave.
Well, yeah, but I mean, why can't they do that with every single business? Like GameStop should be allowed to be open to where as long as they don't allow more than 10 people in the store at a time. They keep them social distance, and then they service those 10 people. One goes
I
out,
agree.
another one comes
Like,
in. Why
well,
can't that
all right,
happen? Why do we have to kill the economy?
That's I do think that certain businesses should be shut down. Like, I don't see any reason why movie theaters should stay open. It's just
Well, no,
way
because
too.
in the movie theaters you can't social distance. Like
Exactly.
you are literally right on top of each other.
Yeah,
I get
and not
that.
only that, like, it's completely frivolous, and there are other ways to get movies. Like, it's not like the 1960s.
Yeah, so-
it's not like you have to
yeah,
go to a
social-
movie theater.
Any social
but-
gathering place, I get it.
But yeah, like, and
As long
restaurants,
as you
right?
wear a mask
Telling
and
all
glove, you
restaurants
should be
they gotta.
fine, depending.
Yes.
My daughter works at Braum's, and it's an ice cream and dairy store. It actually has a small little grocery store in it, but they are still allowing people to walk inside the building and go through a cone line just to basically look at the ice cream over the counter and pick an ice cream cone that they want instead of using the drive-thru. Like, and they're not allowed to wear masks because it might scare the customers.
Really?
Yeah, there's
That's
no restaurant workers in Oklahoma are allowed to wear masks because it might spook the customers.
That's weird.
Yeah, especially when the CDC recommends it.
Right.
Considering, especially like, I mean, sure, if like the cold flu was like, you know, super negative, maybe, but what? God, really? Like, even something this serious, the business is like, no, fuck that. Like, God, dude, that's
Yeah.
fucking.
That seems
they're caring
especially
about their
bad for
customer, not
a.
their employees.
Yeah, that's fucked. That is fucked.
Well, especially in a food service industry. Like,
Yeah, to me, I would think if I was getting my food and the person had a mask, I would be like, at least I know they didn't cough on my food.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, I would be happy with it.
But
I don't
Yeah,
know,
I
man.
don't
This whole thing is just like weird to me, and it's not adding up as to how things are going. It's just, to me, it seems like this might actually be deadly, like you're saying, like sort of like a bioterrorist thing. And of course, the government how everybody freaked out just hearing that this thing is contagious. So what would they do? The government knows if they came out and said it was a bioterrorist attack, everybody would be going fucking insane.
I
So
have
I think
heard.
that they know something. I think they
Well,
know
this is the
something they're
thing.
not
I've
telling
heard
us.
some pretty good. Like, it's a little more in speculation, but it's not exactly fact. And a lot of it is based on reasoning, but it's good reasoning that China did release this on purpose. They did it to cripple the world economy and put themselves in a good position to come back
Yeah, 'cause
before anybody else. Because if you notice, Shanghai and what's the big ass Chinese city?
Shenzhen.
There was Beijing.
Shenzhen and
all the
Wuhan.
big
Beijing,
Chinese
Beijing.
all the big
Beijing.
Chinese cities did not get hit by this.
Yeah, and if you look at it though, there's also actually proof that actually in all these different countries, like in Australia and France and even in America, they had actually their Chinese purchasers buying up all medical supplies and shipping them to China, before this thing became a worldwide pandemic. And there's actually proof of that actually happening in Australia, where there's actually shipping manifest of every bulk item of medical supplies that was able to be purchased, being purchased by a Chinese company and being shipped to China right before this thing broke out, like worldwide. To me, that it seems like they're trying to position themselves as a world leader, and they did this on
Yeah.
purpose.
I could totally see it.
There's even a theory that's actually starting to like really like take the ball and run, like, and that is that our government has already ran a test on this before, and they agreed with China to do this at a cost. So in other words, we got sold up the river to them.
Oh, I don't doubt that either.
No, I don't doubt it
Because
either. Yeah.
It seems like this is more of a social experiment to see how much they can actually take away from us, and us be complacent about it.
Yeah,
'Cause
absolutely.
you see how many of our liberties are being taken away right now in the name of safety. And everybody's like, oh yeah, I mean, I even have family members calling that we should actually have martial law here in Oklahoma. Because she's tired of seeing people out, and I'm like going, do you even understand what you're saying? You're willing to give up every right you have
While she's out.
just so that way a few people don't go to the store. Like I'm not willing to give up my liberties just so that way you can feel safe. That's just
Right.
not. I don't do that. Like I believe in us being able to have the freedom of movement, and there's some states even locking down other people from other states. This is becoming insane. I think we're in it for a far worse thing than what we're in right now.
Maybe.
Like I think it's going to get a lot worse.
I think it's gonna get a lot worse in the sense that our government's gonna make it worse.
Oh yeah, I believe that too.
Before they make it better, because I've been looking into a lot of shit lately, dude. And like now, I brought this up in the Night Owl, so I'm gonna bring it up now. Like, did you guys watch the video where it was kind of blowing up on Facebook? Like your friends and family more than likely sent it to you if they think that you're into this kind of thing. But I did notice the video that was sent to me is no longer available. The URL was completely removed. And I asked the person, like, did you delete this message? She said no. And it was the one with Alexa. Did you see the Alexa video? Anybody in here watch the Alexa video?
I've seen it.
I'm not sure how concrete it is, but I do find it weird that like Facebook would automatically delete the message like that. So like the guy is asking Alexa like who created the COVID, and they talk about the entire 201 thing. You guys know? Are you familiar? Okay, so it actually Alexa goes in and spills the beans on this, and then the last update that they brought from Alexa has now completely changed what she was saying.
Oh wow!
So so I'm a little suspicious on this. I'm not sure if it was a hoax or if all the information I was given was false. But like, I looked into it, and it's some pretty crazy shit, dude.
I don't know. You might actually be onto something, because Twitter actually removed Maduro off of Twitter because he happened to say that he believes that if his population takes hydroxychloroquine and erythromycin or whatever, that they would actually be able, and wear masks, they would actually be able to, function normally. And they said they removed that post of his because it was COVID-19 misinformation. And I'm like going, who are you to determine what's misinformation or not? Why can't people actually have a difference of opinion than the CDC? I don't understand why the WHO and the CDC gets to control what is and what isn't correct. The CDC is the one that said, oh, masks don't work for citizens, but they work for healthcare workers. Like somehow, I guess healthcare workers were magical beings at one point, and then all of a sudden now they're like, oh, masks work for people. Well, duh. Anything that you have over your face and you cough into would control the spread of the disease.
Right.
It just, I don't know. There's something just is really weird, and it's like the tech companies and the government is controlling what we can and cannot see, and it's just really weird. I don't know. I'm just kind of really suspicious of everything that's going on because it does not feel right.
Yeah. Well, like Rambo, like I mentioned this. I mentioned this tonight. Also, I'll mention it again here. I'm just kind of reiterating on some things I had stated earlier before. Like, it's funny how when we were talking about government stuff, they were saying shit about our retirements and our Social Security was running out, and that I would be in my 70s by the time I was able to collect on it. Where the fuck is all this money coming from, dude? 12. We go from we can't afford retirement for people to like now everybody's getting a rolling stimulus package of every 2 months that we're out
Although
of business.
to be fair,
Well,
a one-time payment like that is a lot cheaper than like
But
retirement.
yeah, but we are printing off $2 trillion.
No, yeah, that's
we didn't have 2 trillion.
To
We
begin
actually are
with,
printing money, so we are actually going to see inflation go crazy.
true.
So we're gonna actually take the chance on inflation being manageable just to try to get businesses by at the time. But
yeah.
I don't know. This is like I'm kind of scared to see what the far ending outcome of this is going to be.
I agree.
It's gonna definitely be interesting to see what happens over time.
Not wrong.
Yeah, it's very interesting, dude. There's a lot of things that are coming to light, like you said earlier. Like it's exposing a lot of these corporations, like all the little petty practices they've been practicing. Now they're finding out like they didn't even have to. It's like really like, it's just weird to me, dude. Like it's strange that like it takes an outbreak to bring things to light, which is kind of bullshit when you think about it. Like it shouldn't have to go this far.
Yep. And what was the other thing that the unemployment thing. If right now, like you were always able to get a maximum of $335 a week in unemployment, but now all of a sudden, instead of just getting it to where like you turn in where you work and how much you were making, they're going to just add $600 a week on top of the maximum, and that's what these people are going to get. So they're going to get over 100. Some of them are going to get over 100% more than what they were making before. They're getting it at an average of like $23 to $25 an hour, money-wise, on unemployment guaranteed for 4 months. How many people are going to go back to work willingly after that?
Well, how many jobs are there gonna be? Fuck.
Yeah, that's the thing, is how many companies are actually going to last after this? To where there's going to be jobs to have. Like it's going to only be certain jobs that are capable of withstanding this type of thing.
I agree.
Although to be fair, the harder it gets, the easier it ends up being to bounce. Where did Blue go? To bounce back.
To go do
Because everything
something.
ends up being so much cheap. Like property and storefronts and shit ends up being so much cheaper. So the big thing will be
but I mean,
if we can start to bounce back quick enough. Right, that'll be the big thing, because it's not bouncing back isn't actually all that hard unless you've gone far enough that like so many people are broke they literally can't buy anything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because that's what worries me. Because in the Great Depression, it was longer than a few months, but in the Great Depression, it took 12 years and a world war to get us back. So I don't want to see that get to a point where we actually have to wait 12 years and then also possibly start another war. Because I'm tired of wars. I don't want to see that end up happening to where that's the only way we're bouncing back, because that's not what we need.
I agree.
Yep.
Absolutely. 100% agree.
I really just hope that this stimulus thing is used for what it's supposed to be for by these corporations, to keep these people employed.
I wonder how many bailouts though. That's what I'm worried about, dude. Bailouts.
Did you see they wanted to bail out the damn what's it called, the post office? They
Why?
wanted to wipe their
Amazon's
debt
delivering everything every way.
Exactly. I don't understand. They wanted to make them basically solvent again, like basically where they had no debt at all anymore. And I'm like, no, how does this make sense? It's like they're not laying people off.
Exactly.
And I don't understand the $25 million to the Kennedy Art Center. I just do not understand that.
Neither do I. I mean, I'm all for the arts and stuff, but like right now, no, not right now.
Well, yeah, but why not? I mean, if you're going to do that, why not spread that $25 million or however much it is across all the art systems and throughout? But why specifically the Kennedy? Like, it's just really weird to me. Like, that's a Democrat strong point, but it's just kind of weird to me that they did that.
Yeah.
So this stimulus bill should have just been about the companies and the citizens.
Oh, here you go. How about a huge
though?
incentive for companies that move every person they possibly can to to
Work from home.
work from home.
Yeah, I think that anybody doing work from home should actually be like, as
Yeah.
far as like the company.
We'll give you $10,000
receive-
per employee to get them set up with a
Yep.
home office, you know, whatever internet and all that they need. Fucking, yeah, I'd be
Oh, I
down with
agree.
that.
That and also actually giving incentive or more money, like $10,000 per employee or whatever, to any corporation that actually pulls their manufacturing from China and places it back into the United States.
Sure.
Oh, I'll be down with that. Yeah.
Because I, as an American, I would much rather pay a little bit more for a product, knowing that if we ever get into this time of need, we don't have to depend on China to ship it to us.
Yep.
And I think that should be every fucking corporation that's responsible for putting their fucking products into Viacom, dude. Like Viacom owns too much, dude. Like Viacom, like we went from having something like what 10,000 plus manufacturing here in the mid 60s, all the way up to the like late. I mean, it started tapering off into the late 90s, if I remember correctly, when Clinton signed that fucking bill, that trade bill or whatever.
Oh yeah,
then,
NAFTA.
Yeah. After that, dude, our fucking shit has been like literally on the decline. Like hardly anything's even made over here anymore, and it's crazy to think about, dude. Like, why not fucking go back to the way things were back then? Because that's actually what saved us when we needed them. You know, when we needed something to fall back on, we had manufacturing jobs to rely on.
Oh yeah, him killing manufacturing here in America has basically made America not the world power it used to be, and now we're actually dependent on other countries instead of independent.
Yeah.
Like, we might have energy independence, but we don't have our life-saving medication is all done in China.
Yep.
China controls that. So if China said nope, guess what? We're all gonna die. It's literally that scary.
Too much power. Yeah. Too much
Jack,
power,
the
man.
problem with like relying on Taiwan or someone else, it's not the fact that they're part of the Republic.
We tried that already.
PRC or Republic of, like, it has nothing really to do. It doesn't matter if they were England and they were totally our ally.
Oh yeah.
The biggest problem is
I
that
don't care where
they could just decide at any time, we're not giving you any.
Right.
Yeah, because I mean, if any kind of trade deal goes south between us and England or us and the UK and us and France, it doesn't matter what country it is. I'm not even referring just to being China, but any country, by us having manufacturing all of our life-saving medication in one location, that's like putting all your eggs in one basket and just hoping for the best.
Yep.
Like that, especially it's kind of important that it's in China because China hates us.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, there's a very long.
Well, it's a
story
love-hate
between the two,
relationship.
and-
They love our money.
But I mean,
they're not our
they hate our
friends.
people.
Yeah.
So I mean,
And that's the problem. Anytime their people are, you know, it's an advantage to not sell us the stuff. They could just, and especially because it's China and the state literally can tell. I mean, even more than our country or anybody else, they can literally just tell them, yeah, no, you're not selling to these people, or you're not shipping this here, or whatever.
And that's what's scary about this whole deal is that we're so dependent on China, and everybody seems to be okay with it. I'm just like, y'all need to diversify. I mean, keep some things in China if you want to, but diversify at least with other. Not mean come bring some back here, but then also put some in England, put some in Russia, put some in wherever, just to keep. All of it without being centralized in one location, because that's dangerous.
Yeah.
The problem that we had with keeping them here though was the unions.
Right.
Because stupid janitors were getting $40 an hour to
with benefits and fucking everything else.
Yeah. And so the unions basically helped kill manufacturing here because they were demanding such high wages for.
They wanted
basic employment.
They wanted wages that a college graduate was getting on their entry levels, and that's kind of ridiculous.
And for not things, you know, like it's one thing for an electrician, right? Because that's an actual skill. It takes learning, it takes, you know, experience and all this other stuff. But for repeating some silly action inside a Ford plant or what, you know, there's plenty of workers in a Ford plant that you don't need to know anything.
No, and I agree that maybe you should pay them a little bit more than, say, like a Walmart worker or whatever like that. I mean, fine, but never to the point of $40, $50 an hour. Like, that's insane. And that's what I mean. That's the reason why everything was costing so much, and a lot of the reasons why. I mean, they went from like almost $40 an hour to a person to basically less than $1 an hour by going to China. So, I mean, there was a huge savings for these corporations.
Well, that's the thing.
But,
The
like-
market, without any interference, the market will sustain because it costs a lot to ship stuff from China, even using giant
Oh,
container
yeah.
ships and
Oh,
shit
yeah,
like that. It's
definitely.
not cheap, especially for a big industry. And so the market will sustain a wage as long as the wage doesn't exceed whatever it costs to ship it, with whatever, so if it costs, if instead of paying somebody $15 an hour, you're paying them $1 an hour, well, as long as it doesn't cost $14 to ship it, they're going to have it over in China because they save whatever the difference is. But if there was no unions, or if they weren't allowed to run over these companies quite so much, then they could just option for $12 an hour, and then it would still be cheaper to manufacture it in the U.S.
Yep.
and we'd have jobs, and then it would equalize to where there'd be some in China, some here, because some companies would say, well, we'll just pay people $12 an hour here, and the others will say, well, we'll just pay $12 to ship it, or whatever, whatever the numbers
I mean,
are.
you could, and even the president or Congress at the time could actually give even more incentive to these companies, like
Sure.
a tax credit or whatever.
Well, especially for necessary stuff like medications and
Oh yeah, definitely for that.
respirators and shit like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, hey, keep it here. We'll give you, however much
An
per
extra tax
worker.
rate, yeah.
Yeah.
But here's the like,
There's ways of bringing the shit back.
Yep.
So you're just saying government subsidize it, is what you're telling me?
But yes,
Well-
but it's unavoidable with this kind of shit. I mean,
Well,
there
but
is
also
a
it's
there
worth
is a
it.
that,
le-
or you
there-
have
well, here's the thing. There is a
Worth the
like
government subsidies.
subsidies
worth
are
it to have
are
that.
bad. Yeah, I'm not saying subsidies are great, but here's the problem.
No.
It's like for things like this, there is a legitimate reason for government to get involved, and that is if we don't, then naturally a lot of this will end up being somewhere cheaper, and we don't want that for a lot of like medication, man. That's a big thing.
Yeah, when it comes, I'm not a big fan. Like I said, I'm not a fan of government subsidies. But when it comes to the life-saving medical equipment or medicine in general, I could be down for some government subsidies to
Sure.
keep that here.
I mean, that's a legitimate
like-
government.
Now, if you're talking
That's
about like Toyota, like no, but I mean, you're talking about like some healthcare. Yeah, healthcare and health stuff like that. That's important.
Ooh. I don't know.
the thing is though, is like we have like that's I mean, it's just a part of the bigger problem, really. Like we rely too much on China. We should have never started relying on China for fucking anything. And yet here we are fucking years later finding out the consequences of putting all your chips in one basket. And that's what it all comes down to.
I mean, yeah, you're not
And
wrong.
I'm gonna answer Jack Williams here. He says I'm avoiding this question. Would I consider relying on Taiwan? And the answer is no. I understand that Taiwan is, quote unquote independent, or they consider themselves independent of China.
They are technically
yeah, look-
independent, like how Hong Kong is.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
but look
so is
look
Hong
at
Kong.
Hong Kong right now.
Exactly.
But look at
yeah.
Hong Kong right now. So I mean, you're still run that risk by depending on that, because Taiwan could fall right under the controls, the same as Hong Kong, of China, just in a matter of seconds. And if we dumped all of our resources into Taiwan, what do you think is going to happen? China's going to seize Taiwan.
But even
They're
work
going
like
to assert their authority.
remove the China thing from the equation. Like, let's just say the UK. Like, should we rely on the UK, a country like the UK, for our manufacturing? And you can
I
make
would
the
say
same
no,
argument
too.
against, because that's the thing. It doesn't matter if they're our ally or not. Because if it comes down to, like, say there's a situation like this and a whole bunch of things like respirators and ventilator machines and all these other things are becoming real scarce. If the British are manufacturing them and it comes down to a situation where the Brits can either send the shit over to us or keep them for their own citizens, what do you think they're going to choose? Like,
Yeah,
even if they're our
exactly.
allies, it's not like they're going to tell their people, it's like, well, yeah, we had the stuff, but sorry, U.S. needed it, so we're just going to give it all to them. No,
Yep.
that's not what's going to happen. So it doesn't really
Like
matter whether, I mean, yeah, obviously it makes a difference. Like, it's not great because it's China. That makes it worse. But even if it was a completely friendly country, the same problems still can arise.
But all the
Well, yeah, 'cause,
problems
well, I mean, How many people? I mean, look. I mean, just look at the EU right now. Like Italy has actually stepped in and stopped a shipment that was going to the UK
Right.
because they thought they needed it more, but it was
Well,
actually rightfully. They felt that it was rightfully theirs because they needed it more. So I mean, that would happen. That was the same thing would happen to us if all of our stuff was actually housed in the UK or housed in Italy. I mean, it wouldn't matter where it's housed.
Yeah.
Or where it's made from. It's like you
Yeah,
cannot
if it's not
depend
here,
on-
it's
Yeah.
not ours, basically.
we have
in
no
the end.
control over it. Yeah.
Exactly.
But I mean,
So-
it makes it more difficult with it being China because I mean that's a communist country. But still, I mean, like you said, it wouldn't matter really if they're communist or friendly.
The thing is, all the stuff you guys are talking about, since Pandora's box is open, I just see everything. It's all materialized. You can't exactly close it. Like, you can't exactly can free trade or do what you're talking about, especially right now.
Well, I look at it this way, right? So all of our exports and imports, if you ever actually look at the financials through like any sort of government-ran site, like I'm pretty sure you'll see a huge deficit. And the thing is I've always looked at it as why don't we close up our trade right now, focus on us, get our shit in order to where we can start doing manufacturing again,
Exactly.
and mainstream all the shit that we once did, and then reopen up our exports and imports, and then put certain taxations only on certain countries that have the U.S.'s interest in their mind. You know what I mean? Like for
I still
instance,
think that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, like for instance, the UK doesn't want to fuck our trade deals up, right? So we'd reenact those. If they want to open up new bridges between other countries, we'd have to renegotiate the presence of their current contracts with us. Because as of right now, the U.S. expedites more produce from our region, and we lose more money than any other country in the world. Every other country is at a capital right now when it comes to their expedition. We tax the fuck out of everybody else's currency, but let's face it, that's not nearly as common as expedition of our products. You know what I mean?
Oh no, and we have a damn import-export deficit. We are in the hole. That's the reason why Trump had to renegotiate the U.S.-Mexico thing, and then also renegotiate the China deal because we were losing tons and tons of money in this whole deal.
Right.
And
Yeah.
people were fine
The
with
thing
it.
that Trump renegotiate is basically the exact same thing with a few changes.
The few changes would be willing. I mean, that's actually a good thing because you're not losing near as much money. But they're actually paying more now for our produce than what they were before.
Right.
But they're still buying it.
Right.
But the thing is, though, is also if you, I mean, Jack, I know that they say that China can't bear the PR of taking over like Taiwan. They don't have to go in and kill people. Look at China has actually installed and paid off government officials in Hong Kong to go into Hong Kong and change laws in Hong Kong to basically put them back into China. So they're doing it from the inside out. They're not going in and trying to just taking over Hong Kong. They're doing it from a government standpoint, and they're doing it from government stooges.
Yep.
So, I mean, like, that's all it would take for Taiwan to become on that list. And I guarantee you, if we put all of our eggs into Hong Kong or all of our eggs into Taiwan, it would actually be even more of a way. They would be like going, okay, that ain't going to fly with us because we're not making the money from it. So, therefore, they would come in and try to take over those areas even stronger now.
Yep.
But it still wouldn't even matter. I mean, I don't care if they're friendly or not, or they're like, it just doesn't matter. It just, to me, Taiwan.
Oh shit. Well, still streaming, but I lost Discord, so give it a second. Fuck.
In the UK.
Well, their values for government are ingrained at birth, right? So that's something that a lot of people don't think about. Is everybody thinks that like America's being mean to China? We're just trying to blame China for it. No, like China literally ingrains all of their politics at a young age, from birth on up. Like, it doesn't matter if you're a girl, boy, it doesn't matter your age. Like, if the moment you come out of that womb and you go to kindergarten or whatever fucking grade they have, like, you're indoctrinated right off the bat. They tell them exactly what
Did you know that anybody born after, like, 5 years after the Tiananmen Square in China know nothing about Tiananmen Square?
Right.
They actually have taken that out of every history book. They've scrubbed the internet over there because they have control over the internet.
Yeah,
And they actually will imprison you if you mention Tiananmen Square.
Can I have one?
And the incidents that happen. So yeah, they are very much indoctrinated. They believe that the social credit system that they have over there is wonderful. That our government is taking care of us. And
Wait, do you mean Twitter?
no,
no,
the
no,
Chinese
he-
people.
I was making a
the-
joke
the-
about social credit on Twitter, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
But I mean, they believe that they're indoctrinated. I mean, you can't, like, even if you try to go over and overthrow the Chinese government, you still have the Chinese population to deal with because they aren't like rising up against them. They're actually believing with them. There's a small faction that are probably outsiders, but the majority of that population is ingrained to believe that the government is good. So you would have you have a problem with that whole system over there. But I mean, it becomes more dangerous in that country to have all your stuff rather than say the UK. But it's still not good either way.
Yeah.
Whether it be a super friendly nation, because if this happened, say right now, you think the UK is going to ship us all the ventilators we need versus them?
Right.
Nope.
Yeah, that's the focusing on the fact that it's China is focusing on the wrong problem. Like,
Yeah.
it's a problem that it's China, but that's not the key problem. The key problem is that it
Right.
doesn't matter which country it is, it could be a problem.
And well,
It goes back to the same mentality of these YouTubers that didn't do anything to like diversify, like sell merch or whatever like that. They just lived off of ad revenue.
Right.
And that was all their eggs were in one basket. And once that ad revenue dried up, they were gone because they couldn't make it anymore.
Yeah,
So
most of those YouTubers are gone.
well, I mean, all these people that relied on just ad revenue alone and put all their eggs into one basket failed. So I mean, it's the same exact principle with life-saving medical equipment. That's actually more dangerous.
Right.
And Jack, I'll take a look at that whenever I'm off of the call, 'cause that way. But yes, I'll definitely take a look at it and let you know later in the Discord.
Oh.
Because I'm all for looking at different points of view and everything like that. Right now I just think that we need to like do whatever we can, and I think after this you're going to see the globalists kind of shrink away and the nationalists and all these other different countries start rising up, because I think you're going to start seeing the vulnerabilities of globalism right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And look at, you have nation states that, they are actually an EU nation, but they have become now nation states, and they're banning people from other EU states from coming into their country. So they're all becoming nationalists under this thing. So I guarantee you, at the end of this, they're not going to go, oh, well, let's just forget about everything that happened. Surely these governments aren't that damn stupid.
Rainbow, your mic.
Yeah, you're breaking up a little.
I'm on my phone, so I'm trying my best to do what I
Quick
can.
question though, like, what do you mean by globalism? Do you mean like the EU, or do you mean like free trade?
Globalism to the point of where, like, you have, like, all these people, like, we believe that in the globalist society that all these nations will work together for the betterment of the world. And so that's the reason why we have our life-saving medical equipment over in China and our other stuff in, say, Italy, and just all these different countries have all their different things in all different countries, in all different areas, because they believe that in a time of need, the Italy's going to help out America, America's going to help out Germany, Germany's going to help out China, China's going to help out Russia. It's going to be all this different thing with all these free trade and all, like, a bunch of free trade. So the thing is, though, you're seeing that that's not happening. Even within friendly states, like friendly nations, like Italy and Germany, they're not being friendly with each other right now. So if in your own nation state, like either EU, if you're within the whole EU, and they're like just having interfighting between that, you're going to see that by the end of this, that's a problem. Like the globalist idea is a problem. We all need to be a nation state. We do need to have trade, but there needs to be, like, I'm not trading with you unless you can give me something in return of equal or equal.
Rambo, your mic.
Yeah, we can't even hear you at all now, bro. We caught almost all of it though.
He's in a helicopter.
Right? But no, I got what he was.
Mayday! Mayday!
Not really anymore.
Mayday!
It's all good, Rambo. No, I know, it's all good.
But no, yeah, just look at that. Even within the EU, they couldn't stop, like, basically Italy pirating supplies from another country. Like, yeah.
I mean, that's just a tactical strategy.
Oh man.
I mean, get
No,
mad all
that's-
you want. That's a strategy.
You know.
The
So what else?
crazy, the crazy shenanigans.
Rambo,
right,
let me know
JC.
when you're getting good signal range. Let me know.
The government is trying to silence Rambo. That's right. He starts talking about this shit and he goes dark. Coincidence? I think not.
If Brem, you on Call of Duty, by the way?
Yeah, I am.
We should play, motherfucker. But no, what else have you guys covered? Like while it's gone, like what was it? Just the Corona and the China stuff, or
Pretty much, yeah.
China.
China.
what's going on?
Let me know when you're in good signal range. Just message one of us.
I don't know. Is there anything else we can talk about? Because I'm kind of pooped out when it comes to Corona and China.
Okay, there we go.
What was the other one? We had a third thing on the.
Am I better
Title.
off now?
Yeah, actually, a lot better.
Okay, good.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
goddamn.
gaming though. I don't know. Have y'all seen a decrease in games or games set for release actually being pushed out? I haven't really noticed a whole bunch, but I've seen movies. Even though they have that movie to home,
Right.
have y'all seen a bunch? Have y'all seen games being delayed?
I've seen
Well,
some.
besides, like, of course, like,
I think it
stuff
evens out though, because I've seen a whole bunch that have released early because of this, and then I've seen a whole bunch that have delayed because of this. So I think
So it's kind of
overall it's
50-50
kind of,
thing?
yeah, it's kind of evened out. Whereas with movies, a whole bunch of movies have delayed, and there haven't. I don't think I've heard of a single movie that's released early, because of this.
Well, I
So
know, like the movie Onward went to, it's funny because it released in the theaters and it did okay, but then it released on the Disney Plus way early, because of this. Because I guess they were kind of hoping that they were going to be boosting up Disney Plus subscription, and it's actually a really decent movie. But I'm wondering if we're going to see more and more of the like rushed theater at home type of thing, or if we're going to actually see full-on delays, like where they want an actual movie theater release.
right. Well, yeah, I heard Mulan has been delayed.
Yeah, I heard that too. That and also the Black Widow one.
Right.
And Top Gun has been.
And here's the
delayed
real
since
bad
November.
part. It's like when we don't even know, because some of these movies might be delayed just because they want to delay, but a lot of them could be delayed because they weren't finished shooting, and now shooting is kind of impossible with all the restrictions that are in place.
Oh yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that because I mean, they don't ever really like with games. They'll announce like a reason why, but with movies they just kind of delay. They don't really
Yeah.
give you insider information.
It's very rare that you get, oh, it's because of reshoots, they're taking longer than we thought, or something like that, but that's pretty rare when they actually announce the reason, yeah. What's up, Levon? It says this Xbox Spring sale has been great. That's cool. Yeah, the sales that have been going on are fucking great. Steam's got a shitload of stuff on sale, good old games, itch.io, a whole bunch, and like there's a bunch of free, I don't know, it's probably not the same stuff anymore, but like there was a bunch of free games last week, and I'm sure there's some free games this week too.
On Epic,
Everywhere. I saw them everywhere. I saw Steam, Epic, GOG.
I haven't seen a bunch of free games. I've seen a bunch of free games on Epic, but I haven't seen them on like Steam unless you can tell me where to look.
I'd have to pull up the list because it was just somebody posted a list of all of these games on Steam, and then there was some on GOG, and there was some on itch.io that were all free. But they're ended by now, so if they've done it again,
So
it's going to be different games.
Does Epic just do these free games just to like encourage people to use Epic?
I think so. They've been doing it for a long time. Like there's
'cause
almost
I'm getting like Watch Dogs and like actual good
yeah,
games
and there
out of
was
it.
a while ago it was Subnautica, and before that, it seems like every couple of months they put a new fair. I mean, it's never like AAA, but it's
Oh,
usually
yeah.
like a little bit better than an indie game. It's not some nobody's heard of it. It's games like Subnautica or whatever where they're actually, people have
Yeah, but
good
Epic
things
is
to say about
new.
them. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not gonna do it because I just don't want to deal with that.
Well, I've been downloading the games because just in case, I play or whatever. Because now I got my computer back with the. So I've been downloading them just in case I want to get on there and play. But because
Sure.
they're free, why not? Why not have them?
Yeah. Gangster, I'll message you if you're doing. I don't know if I'll be doing overtime, man. My internet's. I don't know how you guys are still watching the stream because I've dropped fucking 3.5% of frames, and I'm getting shitty ass latency in
When it comes
game.
to the internet, all these internet. Oh, sorry, little shit.
All the internet providers are struggling with the increased demand.
Yeah,
I know.
they're dropping everybody's
Well,
kind of
somebody else
speeds
can
and
host the
throttling everybody.
overtime if anything.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, if you guys want to, doesn't really matter to me. But yeah, it's kind of a dick punch because it's like now's the time we really need the internet the most, and
Yeah.
it's not doing
did you
great. It's
see
like
the- did you
you'd
see
think
the-
they'd be prepared for this. Like you'd think, because it's not like anybody's overusing. If you want to, like, these are all speeds and stuff that they advertise to us, and it's like, well, you guys should have had the infrastructure to handle this. Like you should have known that something like this was going to happen eventually, to where a whole
it
lot
could
of people that normally wouldn't be using the internet at certain times would be, because some slowdown or some disaster or something like that. But it is what it is. Hopefully they'll, in the next month or two, they'll start stepping up their game. I mean, God, the internet infrastructure in the U.S. is just god awful as it is. So,
You're
that's,
not wrong.
if that's one thing the EU's got over us, it's their internet infrastructure. Because I think you can get like a gigabit fiber connection over there with unlimited data for like, the equivalent of $50 or $60 a month, which is way better than almost anything you can get in the States.
Well, yeah, but they're still also throttling their speeds as well.
Sure,
So,
but not nearly as bad as we're like. Because I've got
well, yeah.
damn good Comcast. Like I pay quite a lot of money a month for some damn good Comcast, a damn good Comcast package, and fucking it's dropping like a fly, man. I mean, download isn't too bad, but my upload is just getting killed. Because I dropped my bitrate all the way down to like 2,000, which isn't even close to I should have 6 megs up. And even at 2,000, it's fucking dropping every minute or so. I lose like a couple hundred frames.
What I don't understand though is why there's like PlayStation and Xbox and stuff are throttling the speeds of like the actual console and maybe even Steam as well. I'm not sure, but when the main majority of the using of the internet is actually through video streaming.
Sure. I mean, it does help because especially with I can understand them throttling downloads because, it really doesn't matter if it takes an extra hour to download a game, or
Oh yeah,
not.
still, I mean.
But yeah, it's streaming is the big. I mean, like Netflix and all them immediately should have been, no, we're capping it at 720. You don't need fucking 4K video. I'm sorry, that's not necessary.
I mean, they use up a ton. I mean, just on a regular basis, they use up a ton more.
Oh yeah.
Internet than what?
Just a couple hours of streaming 1080 video is equal to a full game download. And 4K is, oh my god, 4K is just terrible. It's like 80 megs a second or something stupid like that.
Yeah, I'm not even understanding why anybody would think they need to watch 4K right now. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I'm sort of in, Brady finishing it, but I'm sort of in that boat, kind of, where, because here's the thing, I like watching 4K stuff. Like, not games,
sure,
like, I've watched, like,
but right now you don't need it.
Specifically like 4K
I
animes,
get
and it
that-
looks so good, and it's like,
I
man,
get that you like
wish I
it,
could get
but
that.
what as of right now, you don't
Ooh.
need it. I mean,
Yeah,
I think
sure.
you could
As of right
possibly
now,
do without
sure.
it.
Yeah, it's not like watching it in 1080 or 720 instead of 4K is going to make or break the experience for you, and we just don't need
No.
to spend that kind of bandwidth right now.
No, especially whenever everybody's home and working from home too. I mean, the internet usage right now, traffic is like way up.
Yeah, that's where you guys in America need to get your
Yeah,
internet
that one, I can't
priorities
remember the
in
name of the
check.
guy, but the
Oh.
guy that
We
put out
definitely
the
need to get
article
internet together.
that said that games are going to be the disaster of this because they take up so much bandwidth. And
Yeah, I
it's like,
saw
no,
That's like
wait a
going-
second.
everybody replied to him with the showing of like what
Yeah,
COD and all
and-
them do compared
yeah,
to like one video
1080
stream.
1080 streaming is 16, 20, 20 something megs a second, and the average Call of Duty game, it's like half a meg, if that. As the highest ones, which are like Destiny
With
2
all
and
the
something
users
else, are like 300, 350 kbps or something like that.
Yeah,
And
and
it's like,
that's
so
with
even if you
everybody
play a
on-
game,
that's with everybody on at one time too.
yeah. So yeah, don't
all
even
you
come
streaming
at
service
me.
guys, all you streaming service guys you guys are fucked.
And even with the
If you notice, though,
downloading,
he worked for the streaming services.
no, yeah, he's got investments in a whole bunch of other stuff
Yeah, so no wonder he
within
was like
Disney
that.
Plus and all that. Yeah. Come on, guy. Come on. We know it. We know what you're pulling. But yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. I mean, gamers rise up, right? This
Yeah,
is our
I think a lot
this
of
is our
people,
moment.
a lot of gamers did rise up against that guy and say was like, oh no, you need to check yourself on that one.
All right, Jack. See you later. Well, not just that. I mean, in general, like, I love all the memes. It's like, everybody's gonna be quarantined as gamers. Like, we've been preparing for this our whole lives.
Yeah.
And it's true. It's like, dude, my life has not changed at all. All the stores that I go to normally are open because it's all just grocery stores or the occasional restaurant or whatever. I didn't go out all that often before. Like I said, like, this is what irritates me about like the environmental types. Like, man, if you really wanted to make a difference in the environment, probably the biggest fucking difference you could have made up, in the last decade was getting as many people working from home as you possibly could.
Oh God, yeah.
Because
You're
how
lowering the
much
carbon
less
footprint like
traffic, everything, man. So many things would be reduced if people were working from home. And then if we had done this before, like if we had started this a decade ago, and by now, say 30% of all the possible workers that could be working at home were working at home, like the spread of this virus would have been a lot less, because there would have been a lot less people going out to work, infecting others, or whatever. So yeah, it's like you said, like hopefully one good thing that comes out of this is that kind of stuff takes hold, and a whole lot more companies will start keeping people working from home. As long, like any kind of IT, like obviously you want to keep a couple of IT guys local, right, for physical issues. But for any kind of like web server running or database or anything like that, all those guys can work from home, and it would be so much better if they did.
Yeah, it would be. I mean, not only better for themselves and child care and everything else to be able to do that, but also better just for the environment, because
and better for the company, because you don't have to pay for a huge office.
Yeah, you don't have. Yeah, you could actually run your office out of like even a very small building compared to a gigantic building to house 400 or 500 employees.
Sure, but it is what it is, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm with you. My life really hasn't changed much at all. The only thing that has really changed is like having my kids around 24/7 because of school closure. But other than that, I mean, life is just pretty much normal. Did y'all hear what happened?
That would even be better for kids, because schools, man, I could see it be if a lot more people are working from home, a lot more people could be able to take care of their kids if they were staying at home more, which means you don't have to have them going to school every day.
Yep. And did y'all hear what happened to? I mean, it's going to be kind of sad, but I mean, my daughter that I'm adopting the child. She had another baby,
Oh wow.
and 3 weeks old, they woke up and she was dead from SIDS.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we just had the wake, or not the wake, but the viewing on Saturday, and that was kind of a little bit difficult.
Sure.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
I
seeing a
imagine.
3-week-old baby is not fun.
Dude, even if it was just a casket, like man, a tiny casket like that, it just
Yeah,
hits you. Yeah.
and then for some reason, my daughter and them are not okay though, because they were towards the end of it, whenever we were there to pick up all the flowers and stuff, they had picked the baby up out of the little basket and was like passing her around, like, and I was like, they're not okay, like,
Right.
because nobody normally would do that. I wouldn't think. I don't think that's a normal response.
Cool.
At least I wouldn't. I would hope not. I mean, I don't, because I mean they were bouncing it kind of like that. It was, like they were calming it. It was weird.
Yeah. Yeah, JC says that's what some voice actors do, right? If they have their own studio at home, they can just do voice work at home and send it to the studios. Yeah, that's perfect. Artists have been doing that for forever, especially with like manga. It's like every manga author or illustrator basically works from home, and I can imagine you could do it with anime artists and stuff like that too. Like that whole industry could be run from home offices easily, because none of it you really have to be physically there with them, especially because everybody's doing their art all digital nowadays.
Yeah, you can, and that and the or not just the voice acting, but also the animation of these kids movies. Like you could
Sure.
have just like a small, they could actually be social distance. A small little group of people working together to actually get the animation portion done.
Right.
But from all the actual acting can be done at home, because all these actors have a studio in their home.
Sure. And it's not like it's hard to build. I mean,
So,
really, it's
yeah.
not hard to build. You just need a good mic and some sound deadening equipment. Like,
Yeah,
seriously.
and and they definitely have the money to take care of that.
Sure. I mean, they could even do mobile stuff, man. You could set up a van with the equipment, or like a big box van, and just have the guy, send the guy out to one person's place and then send him out to the other person's place. It wouldn't be that hard.
Yep, and just have them read from a script. That's all you have to do, and then
Or ship it. You could even ship it on commission. It's like, here, we'll ship you the equipment, and you just send it back when you're done with when we're done with you. And if you don't send it back, then we charge you, just to make sure that they get it back. But that would work too. I don't see why it wouldn't.
I mean, the only thing that would, I mean, you could even, a lot of these things, even with the fighting, or even the action movies, like where they're fighting, they could actually do a lot of that solo as well too.
Sure. Yeah, the only problem with regular movies is, sometimes you need a lot of extras and you need an actual physical location, and that's which I don't think they should be taking the risk.
No, some scenes could be done though without.
Sure.
So but whenever this is over or whatever, you could actually get majority of the movie done through, without it, and then like you're almost done, like bam, you just got a few more things to
right, get like 80% of it or whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you'd have a lot of movies ready to go at the very end of this.
Yes, sir.
I know there's a lot of businesses getting creative, and I'm hoping that like the creativity leads to more innovation through, because
it will.
Everybody's gonna have to. Everybody's coming up with different ways to operate. So I mean, I'm hoping that it sticks around, because we have to remember this for the next time. We can't just forget this never happened.
Well, like I said, it solves so many problems just on its own, right? It's not like this is only helpful for like a viral outbreak.
Oh yeah, I mean, this
just
is
the reduced strain on every, traffic, public transportation. If a good chunk of people were able to work from home and didn't have to be near their office, people would spread out a lot more. Small towns would get a lot more, both.
Yeah, because they don't have to drive. You wouldn't have to drive for. I mean, because a lot of people, reason why people stay away from small towns, because they don't want to drive an hour into work.
Sure.
They could work from home and be good.
Whereas if you just work from home, fuck it. Yeah, I'll live out in the boonies. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, live wherever.
So,
I'm hoping this also increases the internet service providers to actually increase their coverage to where they actually go out into these smaller towns and
and
build lines for
definitely.
people.
Yep.
Because satellite internet sucks.
It really does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really does. But you know, what are you gonna do, right?
Yeah, I guess if you're in the stuck in that situation, you do what you got to do.
Yep.
Fuck. Yeah.
So, any guesses as to what just happened with me?
No, what just happened with you?
9/11 happened. No.
Your computer crashed?
That fucking
You were-
that DPC watchdog error, dude. Like I am about ready to throw my computer out the window, dude. I'm about
That's
ready
weird.
to
It
just say,
started
"Fuck
happening
it,
all
dude.
of a
I'm
sudden
getting-"
too.
And the thing is like when I reformatted this morning, everything was perfect. Perfect. Now it's back to fucking doing this again, dude. I'm coming close to just saying, fuck it, dude. Spent so much money on this goddamn system just to have this happen, dude.
Oh fuck. Oh man. Well, I guess we go to overtime.
Yeah, yeet.
I'm fine with that. That's fine.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, all right then. I noticed Rev got cut out. He did? I mean, he left for a hot minute.
No, I'm right here.
He just fell asleep.
Yeah, I think he just left for a hot minute, JC. But all right. Bring that up.
He's here.
I'm right here. I'm right here.
Oh, you know what? I wonder.
Can you not hear me?
No, we can
I
hear
can
you.
hear
Yeah.
you. Yeah, okay, I can hear you.
Yeah, your video was working too, but I thought, or maybe it was just because it all got moved or something. But anyway, all right. Well, thanks everybody for watching. We'll probably be back in a minute with overtime. See you then. Peace.